Urban League is a local civic organization here, and we empower a 5-point plan to improve the conditions within our community. Those 5 points are education empowerment. Urban League is very good with working with the youth in the community to empower them to go on to grow and to be successful for themselves in the future. We also have economic empowerment, civic empowerment, civil rights empowerment, and then there's our health initiative. The YP organization is the 20 to 40 group come together to assist the Urban League in its mission. We meet every 3rd Monday of the month. Our next meeting is August 30th, 6:30 to 7. That meeting will be Occupy the Vote meeting. This meeting we're here today is a direct connection to what the Urban League wants to do. So we want to hear the voices of those in the community. We want the candidates to understand that we have a voice in the community and our issues should be addressed. In conjunction with the Urban League of Palm Beach County's YPs, this candidate forum is being held with the Black Village Voices. I'm going to introduce James Green, and he's going to tell us what the Black Village Voice is all about.
Thank you, Joe. How's everybody doing this evening? Good. Glad you made it out. I know it's about to pour down outside, so you made it on time. You're going to be all right. I don't know about getting out of here, though. I want to thank you all for coming out and participating in this very important candidates forum. You know, we have some pretty serious issues out there in the community right now. And it's important that we understand where our candidates stand on these very important issues before we go to the polls on August the 14th. We want to make sure that you guys have an opportunity to ask questions. So what I have here are some cue cards. I'll be standing in the back. If you're looking to ask any questions, just raise your hand. I'll be looking out at you and I'll come and give you some cue cards. All right? And we're going to go over the format of the debate very quickly, and then I'll introduce the moderators and we'll get started. We will start with the State House of Representatives. We'll start with that race. We'll finish with the State Senate race. Again, she's going to go over the rules there for you. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask now. Just to give you a little bit of information about the Black Village Voice Political Action Committee. We are a non-partisan political action committee that does 2 things. One, we understand the importance of helping our disadvantaged communities. When you look at areas like Belgrade, when you look at areas like Riviera Beach, which are predominantly Black and Hispanic communities, we see that there are gross disparities. We see that the unemployment rate is higher than the national average, than the state average, than the local average. And so what the Black Village Voice seeks to do is to find creative ways to engage elected officials to deal with some of the disparities that exist and to address the economic communities that are in our most disadvantaged communities. Another thing that we do is we support a lot of the Black businesses that are around. So we have something that's called the Cash Mob that we do every month. The last Cash Mob was at Capri Lounge. This next one will be at Mahogany's Bookstore. How many of you have heard of Mahogany's Bookstore? Okay, that's just a few of you. So one of the things that we'll do by having those Cash Mobs is promoting awareness. We're letting you know that there is a Black-owned bookstore here locally in West Palm Beach. And then we encourage everyone to go out and to spend money at that business to support the businesses. We have a lot of Black businesses that are struggling. And we want to make sure that we're doing everything that we can to support them. So one of the most important things that we as the Black Village Voice seek to do is to hold our elected officials accountable. They're going to be talking about quite a few things they're going to do once they get into office or attempt to do as it relates to the issues that we are concerned about. What we want to do is take a mental picture, all right, or in this case, a video, or just as a community, We want to listen to what their strategies are. And then we want to go back and close the gap and hold them accountable for the things that they say they're going to do. All of us know that low accountability drives low performance. We're looking for high performers when we get into office. We're looking for people that are going to represent the interest of our disadvantaged communities, and that they're going to do it with tenacity. They're going to do it with passion so that we can see the outcomes that we're looking for. So with no further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce the moderators for today's debate. But before I do that, I'm sorry, I want you to stand up if you're on the board for the Black Village Voice. If you would just stand very quickly. I want to recognize my board members. Here's the thing. There are a lot of important issues out there, and you're going to hear some of them come out in the questions that will be asked to the candidates today. We understand that you have busy lives and that you don't always have the time to address some of the issues or even research some of the issues. So what we seek to do is to promote awareness to a lot of the disparities that are going on within our community and give you an opportunity to get involved in addressing some of those disparities. We have plenty of work for you to do. We're going to have some folders set up to the side, so if you're interested in becoming a member of the Black Village Voice or a member of the Urban League, then please let us know before the end of the night, and we'll make sure that we get you signed up. So our moderators are Shalonda Warren, all right, and Gerald Parrott. Shalonda's board member for the Black Village Voice, and Gerald Parrott, as you just heard, is the president for the Urban League Young Professionals of Palm Beach County. So let's go ahead and get started. We have a couple of candidates here now. We'll let the moderator go over the rules, and then we'll introduce the candidates, or have them introduce themselves, and get started. Thank you.
Good evening. So glad you could all make it before the rain. In order to conduct an orderly forum, the Urban League Young Professionals and Black Village Voice has established the following ground rules. The audience is asked to refrain from making comments or speaking out while the candidates are speaking, so everyone can hear what is being said. The moderators will introduce the candidates in alphabetical order. Each candidate will be allowed 1 minute for an opening statement. The sound of the bell will conclude your response time. There will also be a signal that will let you know that you have 30 seconds, and then an X that goes up to let you know that your time has elapsed. We do expect and ask that you are mindful of that time. After all candidates have made their statements, the audience may ask questions. However, they must be written down on the 3x5 index cards that James spoke about and placed on the moderator's table to be screened for appropriateness and to minimize duplications. Candidates will be allowed a 1 minute response for each question. The timekeeper, I already said that. No derogatory questions or remarks will be allowed, and there will be a 1 minute closing statement at the end of each session. The forum this evening will end at 7 p.m. even if some questions have not been asked. The Urban League Young Professionals and the Black Village Voice would like to welcome all candidates for the races, and if you can take a moment to stand. If you're a candidate for a particular race, this will not be the opportunity to campaign, but you can say your name and what you are running for. We'll start here.
I'm Susan Booker, and I'm running for re-election to the Supervisor of Elections office.
Thank you very much.
Coming up next, I think, is District 1.
Hi, I'm Greg Weiss, and I'm running for the City Commission of West Palm Beach, District 5 in March of 2013.
Thank you.
I am Kaneste Sosi, and I'm running for Supervisor of Election.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you coming in this evening. At this time, I'd like to introduce candidate Charles Bentel.
Okay, it's time to go now?
Yes.
Hello, everybody. My name is Charles Bantel, and I am running for State House District 88. I live in this district. I've lived in this district since 1982 when I launched from the parents, and I came down to Florida, and I made myself a life. I've been in this community since then. First it was in Riviera Beach, then I moved to West Palm. I've worked extensively in the marine industry in this area, and I'm well aware of the conditions that exist in my own neighborhood. As living there, I have also attended a numerous amount of city commission meetings in the city of West Palm Beach, the Port of Palm Beach, and also in Riviera Beach. And I know the process of government, I know the players, and I know the marine industry. And I know what is coming in the way of jobs and what needs to be done to go ahead and bring them here to us. I want to be the candidate, and I want to get your vote in the coming election on August the 14th. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bentel. Candidate Evelyn Garcia.
Good evening. Thank you very much, Black Village Boys and the Urban League, for this opportunity to meet some more of the neighbors and hopefully voters in District 88. I really appreciate being here. My name is Evelyn Garcia, and I'm running for State House in District 88. Part of District 88 is very close to where I live now, in Lake Worth, and goes from Lake Park in the north, all the way down to Delray Beach. So it's a gift of redistricting, and we don't know why. We've been put together this way for neighbors, but what I hope to bring is my experience in both working life. I have a great deal of work in real estate and economic development, as well as my advocacy for our communities, people in our communities here and in other areas, because when you get to Tallahassee, you need to represent everyone. But my heart is in the community. I've worked and volunteered in the communities, many of them in District 88, and I wish to continue to represent you. Thank you.
Thank you. Would you like to ask a question?
Yes, I would. I'd like to open it up with education. Education in Florida has been a hot topic for now, and there's been a lot of concern on the standardization of tests. What are your plans to take to Tallahassee to improve the education system and to give us a system that will help evaluate the students?
Which one first?
Mr. Bentel, we'll start with you.
Like a lot of other Floridians, I've just about had it with the FCAT system. Let me explain something about the FCAT system. This was put in place by a Republican government. One of the reasons was to grade schools. Why do we want to grade schools? We wanted to see who was doing well. Well, apparently it's been used to go ahead and show us how well the schools have not been doing. And this is a precursor towards privatization of our school system. They had to find a way to quantify how the students were doing so that they could take them out of the public schools and then have school vouchers and put them in private schools. It's about time we got away from the test and we started actually teaching the students and we started funding our public schools for the education that our children need. Thank you.
Your turn?
Yep.
Thank you. There's no question that parents and teachers and students feel that the FCAT, as it's been administered, is not good. As Mr. Bentel suggested, it's really a negative picture of our system where we actually need proper funding for our schools, for our teachers, and for our students. So I commend the governor for deciding to take a good hard look at this based on the pressure and the voices of the teachers, the parents, and the students to say that the FCAT has got to go and we have to get rid of it, and we need to converse with the parents and teachers, people who know the best about teaching and learning, to find new ways to test our children that involves not teaching to the test, but teaching to the student.
Let me make a small addendum. We have a third candidate that is en route here, and he'll come in and sit. Bobby Powell will be here, and so he'll come in and participate in this discussion when he gets here. But a follow-up question, both of you seem to be opposed to the FCAT system. How do you propose the state of Florida properly evaluate our students to guarantee that they're learning the lessons that need to be, to take them to the career path that will be successful?
Well, thank you. Well, I believe many other states are using other methods that parents and teachers find much more acceptable that have to do with reflecting what students' needs are and what the teachers' needs are to have a proper education system working. So I've lived in New York and in Connecticut, and there we have different systems, and I would say that we need to look at how other places are doing it. When we get to Tallahassee, there are other systems that we can look at, and I think we need to bring the educators in, the professionals in the business, to advise us, because we had systems in place before. Students were being tested before FCAT, and they should be tested after FCAT, but not teaching to the test as we've been doing. We must find a better way.
I don't believe in reinventing the wheel. My car has tires on it. Well, cars back in the 40s had tires on it, and they happen to work quite well. The school system has always had testing before the